the girl found a missing person notice on a milk carton, and the name on it was exactly the same as hers. To escape her life of wandering, she decided to impersonate the person. When her grandmother found out that her granddaughter had been found, she immediately went to the police station. She hadn't seen her granddaughter for 12 years. The policewoman told her that her granddaughter had been kidnapped by her birth mother, but not long after, her mother had died in a car accident, and her stepfather had abandoned her at an orphanage. The grandmother never expected that her granddaughter had lived such a miserable life over the years. When the girl appeared, the grandmother couldn't help but cry. Seeing the bracelet she had personally made years ago still on the girl's wrist, she was certain that this was the lost Huiji from her childhood. She trembled as she held her granddaughter's face. Although Huiji wasn't the grandmother's biological granddaughter, their meeting became the beginning of their mutual redemption. Since accidentally losing little Huiji 12 years ago, the grandmother had been living in self-blame. She never stopped looking for Huiji. She posted missing person notices all over the streets, and even spent all her savings printing her granddaughter's photo on milk cartons. Someone offered a high price for her old house, but the grandmother didn't think twice and kicked them out. She was afraid that Huiji wouldn't be able to find her house if she came back one day. Now that she had finally found Huiji, the grandmother's face was filled with smiles again. The recovered Huiji was warmly welcomed by the whole village, but this made Huiji feel somewhat lost. She was afraid that her secret would be discovered, and the grandmother was equally afraid of losing Huiji again. She had to hug her granddaughter to sleep at night, and would suddenly barge in when Huiji was taking a bath. When she saw Huiji dissatisfied with the clothes she was wearing, she would take Huiji to the street. Maybe the grandmother's love made Huiji feel uncomfortable. She intentionally distanced herself from the grandmother, often sneaking to the beach to sit alone. She always didn't want to go home after school, but no matter how late she came back, the grandmother would always be waiting at the corner to take her home. Every day the grandmother would make different dishes for Huiji. Worried that Huiji would get fish bones stuck in her throat, she would carefully pick out the bones. The old house that she once said she would never sell, now she was willing to sell it to pay for Huiji's school fees. She wanted to make up for the years she had neglected Huiji, but Huiji felt confused by this love. She would often daydream in class, and when the teacher scolded her, she appeared indifferent. The teacher, disappointed, took Huiji to the office and told her to take everything on the desk back. It turned out that the grandmother, wanting the teacher to take better care of Huiji, had secretly packed a lot of gifts. Huiji's eyes reddened. This was the first time she felt the grandmother's love. One day, Huiji received a phone call. It was from old friends she used to know. They threatened Huiji for money, otherwise, they would harm her friend. Forced by the situation, Huiji stole the grandmother's passbook, but at the ATM, Huiji hesitated. This was all of the grandmother's savings from selling the house. She couldn't bring herself to steal it, so when the grandmother wasn't looking, she secretly returned it, and this scene happened to be seen by the neighbor.